But I'm done. I'm done. I tried with you. I actually care about you. And I wish you nothing but the best. But I'm done. I heard you. And it wasn't nice. And it was a lie. And now I'm going to block you since you don't care. I'm going to move your channel to the yellow screen. But please know you'll never forget Sister T. But I'm done. I'm done. I tried with you. I actually care about you. And I wish you nothing but the best. But I'm done. I heard you. And it wasn't nice. And on top of that, it was a lie. And now I'm going to block you since you don't care. I'm going to move your little channel to the yellow screen. But please know you'll never forget Sister T. But I'm done. I'm done. I tried with you. I actually care about you. And I wish you nothing but the best. But I'm done. I heard you. And it wasn't nice. And on top of that, it was a lie.
This is your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa. Now I'm forward to County, New York. I know I had my live going on scheduled at a certain time, but I usually like to come in a little bit early. A shout out to the chat. I ain't got no job right now, so shout out to the chat. I am Arabia Barbosa. Now I'm forward to County, New York. I am the BT 1000, aka Lucy the Vampire, aka the Jeeper Creeper on this shit, aka the German Shepherd in the motherfucking room. A shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I'm live. I'm live right now. A shout out to the chat. Those of you that support this channel, I love you. I respect you. You are wonderful. You're amazing. You're opulent. We got opulence going on over here. We got opulence going on over here. A shout out to the chat. But you heard the beginning of the video where Sister T says she's done with me. Done. Lady, I ain't got nothing against you. Not at all. Not at all. But my thing is, why did you put my name in the title if you didn't want me to address you? Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. 914 Western County, New York. We are in the motherfucking house. We are in the motherfucking house. Shout out to the chat. Happy Easter to all of you that celebrate Easter. I don't know what this holiday really is all about because I never celebrate any holidays. But I do celebrate Halloween and the Day of the Dead. Shout out to the chat. The Day of the Dead. I am Arabia Barbosa. I am 914 Westchester County, New York. A shout out to the chat. A shout out to the ones that supporting this channel. You supporting this channel, but you are afraid to do other things. Shout out to my moderators, my support team. Shout out to all of you. It is what it is. 914 Westchester County, New York. We going toe to toe, head to head with different trolls on this app. And I'm gonna tell y'all something real close to my heart. Maybe I'm not supposed to share it, but I need to share it. I don't have a problem with Sister T. Never did and never will. Sister T is Sister T. I am Arabia Barbosa. And I remember when she sang the birthday song and she did her, Cash App or whoever super chatted her or whatever it was, and she used to do that drop. And she used to just sing and dance, and she had a very wonderful personality on this app, on this fucking app. Now, y'all know I was a foster care child for years, 10 years of my fucking life. And those people, they raised me, they didn't give a fuck about me. They just wanted the money. Wanted the money. I found out different when I went to fucking penitentiary. How they used to visit with me on a Sunday, just like this. They used to be embarrassed. The people used to pat them down, search their bags, all that. The mother that raised me, she had to lock up her bag, and my sisters too, in a certain locker. A shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the ones that supported me when I was in fucking prison, penitentiary. My inmate number, my inmate number is 221644. Shout out to the chat. I was an inmate under the Department of Corrections in South Carolina, SCDC. And shout out to the chat. But let me tell you what I found out. Let me tell you what I found out when I got off that lockup unit. I found different women on those different compounds. Control yard movement was very real. Very real. Control yard movement. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. 914 West of the County, New York. I see who I want to see in this chat. I don't expect a whole lot of people to come over here. You don't need to come over here. Catch the playback. Shout out to the playback. Shout out to the playback. Shout out to the chat. I don't got no problem with Sister T. I don't. I don't got no problem with Queen Regina. I don't. I ain't got no problem with no women in the sector. But when you explain certain stuff on your channel, now I got a fucking problem. And you worried about me doing this and that, talking about your God. Let me tell you something about your God, baby girl. Let me tell you something about your God. Pull up. Jesus dropped the charges. Jesus dropped the charges. It is what it is. It was the twin brothers singing that song. A shout out to the chat. Shout out to the motherfucking chat. I don't step a foot in churches. I don't step. Not one time. I did it a couple of years ago. And that's how I became in this apartment. Shout out to the chat. But Sister T told me certain things about my life. That's how I know she's been studying me. Studying me. Why are you studying me? Why? It is what it is. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. 914 Westchester County, New York. We are in the motherfucking house. And I want to know why she studied me. Why did you study my channel? Why did you study anything I said? Why? Because I appealed to your spirit. A shout out to the chat. See, we all made in the image of God. Arm, leg, arm, head. She says she got Geechee blood running through her veins. I got Geechee blood running through my veins, but I don't claim the Geechee. I don't claim because they betrayed me. They put me out in the world way too young. Way before I was even walking and talking real good. A shout out to the chat. When my biological parents was together and I was born, yes, we all lived in one house together. And my father, he went out there every day, bust his ass, working. My father was hardly there. Hardly there. But I do remember the day he told me, he said, Arabia, I don't mean no harm. I don't mean no harm. I'm your father. I knew I was your father from day one. I loved you. I supported you. I helped you. Arabia, I used to put a padlock on the door. He padlocked it, my mother, me, and my older sister. A shout out to the chat. Padlock. What does that mean? You get a padlock to trap the woman in her house? What if a fire would have happened? And I'm going to tell you something real quick. My father had siblings. He had two sisters that came to the house. Two sisters that came to the house regular. And when they saw the padlock, they tried to beat the padlock off the goddamn door. A shout out to the chat. My father came back and he unlocked the padlock. And my mother came rushing out with me in her arms. And she said, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want his children. I don't want him. I'm going to get rid of the children. She didn't kill us. She sent us to the foster care system in New York. Shout out to the foster care system in New York. You destroyed my life. You destroyed my life. I didn't have no parents after that. I didn't have no parents after that. And some of you know, I met my mother years ago. Years ago. I could never forgive her for giving me up. Yes, I supported her for a little while. I lived with her for a little while. But you don't know how much gratification I got when she pushed me that last time. She pushed me. You know, I went in like a beast. Like the savage I truly am. And I tried to beat that woman. I choked her. I wanted her to die that day. A shout out to the chat. Happy Easter to everyone. A shout out to the chat. But this is my real life. I saw her a few weeks ago. Not too far from the bus stop I usually catch the buses at. Guess what happened when I saw her? Guess what happened when she saw me? We froze. I looked at her. She looked at me. A shout out to the chat. She refused to get off that porch. she refused to actually walk towards me. The women on YouTube are more mothers to me than she was, ever was. She was always afraid, always frightened by her own shadow. That's why she does her Buddhist chants. Nam yo renke kyo ain't gonna get you nowhere. Kuja na mini. Kula jakula mije bareri. Nini kuzimu kila bakate. Vente aquí, que lo que mi gente. Vente aquí, los comidas está lista. And those that don't understand what I'm saying, lo siento, no es culpa, es mío. Estoy donde nada nunca se pasó. It is what it is. A shout out to the chat. Those that are not here, you will catch the playback. But I'm going to give my moderators their flowers. Shout out to you. I love you. I will always love you. I will always love you, respect you. Whatever you guys do, women, whatever. It's three women. Three women in my chat, supporting my page. Shout out to you. Give me your Cash App information, and I will do what I need to do. Donna, thank you for coming in. Dio, thank you for coming in. Khadijah, thank you for coming. Those are my three moderators on this chat, on this channel. A shout out to them. Shout out to them, because they know how dangerous I can get off of this app. Everybody celebrated Facts Over Feelings going to jail, but they did a bunch of panels because a lot of people are convicted. They are convicted in their spirit. Shout out to the chat. Lonnie One Love, she did her job. She told her truth. She never stopped being who she is. A shout out to Empress Lonnie One Love over there. Shout out to you, baby girl. I don't have the strength you have. I will never have it. You was raised by your parents. I was not raised by my parents. I was raised in a world. I was surrounded by wolves and everything else. Nobody gave a fuck about me. I was sexually abused at 9 years old. A shout out to the chat. It happened. And when I got out of goddamn prison in 2001, guess what happened? One of my sisters called me and she said, the dude that did that to you, he's dead. He died 2 weeks after you got out of goddamn prison. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to my siblings that grew up with me. We don't see eye to eye all the time. We don't need to see eye to eye. But I am Arabia Barbosa. I am the BT 1000. I am the Jeeper Creeper on this shit. I am Lucy the Vampire. I am the German Shepherd. And the fucking goddamn wrong. The German Shepherd. I'm very territorial. Very territorial. If I was ever in your chat, if I ever supported you, if I ever spoke kind words, it's because I was marking my territory. I didn't need you to support me. I didn't need you to help me. A shout out to the chat. Arabia Barbosa. Arabia Barbosa. Arabia Barbosa. 914 Western County, New York. We are in the motherfucking house. My job is done. It's gone. Now I gotta dig ditches for the next 2 weeks or clean up a job site. I hate doing construction labor. The John Show, you know, I hate doing it. The John Show was live earlier, and when he saw me in his chat, he said, Arabia Barbosa. You used to always protect brown skinned lady. Damn right. If you're doing her wrong, I'm going to speak up. I remember when I was over there with Lonnie and people used to do her wrong. I used to speak up. A shout out to the chat. I understand. I understand. But that Sister T, you knew who I was. You knew who I was way before I ever hit your link. Way before I was sitting in your chat. Way before anything. But shout out to Sister T for being so brave. But she is afraid of women like me. She's afraid. A shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. Musa, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming. I enjoy your videos. You're a real man. You're a real man. And you know I got a bad attitude. You know I'm still in my penitentiary mode. My job is gone. The job I love. The job I enjoy. Now I gotta go out there tomorrow and dig a ditch or work in the recycle. No, that's why I got the real job. So I wouldn't have to do it. A shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Muso know me very well. He know my attitude. And I love Sister T. I do. I do. But don't nobody tell me you're done. You've been watching me all this time, Sister T. You watch the videos on other different platforms. You watch Brown Skin Lady. You watch Sis Rebel Got a Mensch. You watch them. And you watched me on my own channel. You watch me fight with Birdman. You watch me fight with the whole world. And the whole world want to punish me again. This is my punishment. What did I do wrong to anyone? I did nothing wrong. I did everything right. I just spoke different words that was not supposed to be spoken on YouTube. Threatening other YouTube creators. Yes, that's what I did. That's what I did. If you disrespected me, I threatened you. And I dare you to call the cops. Call the cops. Call the police. Call 911. They ain't gonna help you. Only thing they're gonna do is come to this door and address me 5 minutes and they go. Because they know I'm not a threat. But when somebody tells me you are done with, you sound just like my biological mother. That's what you sound. I grew up in a house with a woman that spoke them same goddamn words. A shout out to the chat. Don't nobody disrespect Arabia Barbosa. You better run through my fucking videos. You better run through them. You better run through everything on this YouTube app, in the streets, in the sector. No job. I'm supposed to go to work. I woke up this morning. I jumped out of this goddamn bed. I went into the fucking shower. I changed into my working clothes. And I text the boss. I'm on my way to the job. He said, Arabia, there is no job. A shout out to the chat. A shout out to the chat. No job. A job I loved. A job I enjoyed. A job that supported me and all my coworkers. I had to shake all their hands yesterday. And I talked to the owner, her and her husband. They said, Arabia, we know you trying to get yourself together. You don't want to work for the temp services. We'll be up and operational probably in a few more weeks, maybe a month. I don't got a month. I don't got a month to wait. So I'm going to continue to dig ditches. I'm going to continue to work for a staffing company I don't want to work for. I don't. I don't want to work for them. A shout out to the chat. It is what it is. Number 4, which is the county of New York. I am your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa. Kujana mimi kula chakula mije baridi. Vente aquí conmigo. Que lo que mi gente. Pull up a chair and laugh about my pain. Laugh about my distress. Laugh because I know facts over feelings used to hit my link all the time. Used to sit in my channels all the time. He supported this page with his presence. He never supported me financially, nothing. But there was one particular day, he did a video. He said, help the homeless, help the homeless. I knew it was a scam. And I told him, let me tell you something. When I support YouTube creators, when I support you financially, I'm doing it from the bottom of my Cape Verdean heart. Bottom of my Cape Verdean heart. A shout out to the chat. But when I see that you are misusing me and abusing me, I call you out. I call you out. He didn't like that. He didn't like that. I remember when I used to do my Cash App giveaways, when I used to do my trivial videos. Y'all remember what happened? Facts over feelings won. He won one of the prizes. You know, this bitch ass nigga got angry because I didn't supply him with what he wanted at that time. He got mad. He got angry. But one thing he did he did say it, and it stands true. He said, Arabia, you ain't got no friends on YouTube. Nobody loves you. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Look in your real life. Who you pushed away? Everyone is distant. The mother that raised me, she died in 2019. She left me some money. She left me something. It wasn't much. But the person she got ruling over her estate don't want me to have nothing. Don't want me to have a goddamn thing. Shout out to the chat. And I'm fighting that right now. Why should I have to fight for something? Why? She collected money for me all those years. 18 years she collected money from the state of New York. She collected money from the state of New York. Even after the adoption, she was still collecting money from the state of New York. Shout out to New York for supporting your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa. Number 4, which is the county of New York. New York didn't never want me to be homeless. I got homeless when I came to the South. When I came here. But shout out to the women on YouTube. The women on YouTube. Empress Lonnie wanna shout out to you. You told me a lot of truth. And I love you to this day. Whatever fallout we had, we are good right now. A shout out to you for having me on your panel. Shout out to you for even talking to me. Because Lonnie, you know this shit is running deep. No job. I'm getting ready to disappear. Just like Facts Over Feelings did. But my disappearance is going to be welcomed. Everybody's going to laugh and dance and click up their heels. Ding dong, Arabia Barbosa is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here. Y'all catch the playback. Who ain't here? Catch the playback. Support this channel and share the video. Cause I'm crying. And my under my Cape Verdean heart, my deepest Cape Verdean heart is broken. Not because of the women on YouTube or the men on YouTube. Nobody controls me, but the real life controls me. I'm sitting in an apartment right now. Get ready to pay the light bill, the cable bill. That's all I can do. But I'm coming home to New York. I'm coming back home. I give myself 3 months. I'm coming back home. But I'm not coming as I left. I don't have no mother. I don't have no father. I don't have my support team like the way I used to on these YouTube streets. My cousin, Shakia Davis, just passed away not too long before my birthday. I remember because I got the phone call. They gave me the phone call. I remember when Sergeant Crystal Reagan and all of them died. Because my younger sister, my baby sister, called me. She said, Arabia, are you sitting down? Arabia, is everything good with you? I was living in New York at that time, Yonkers, New York, Saratoga Avenue. Shout out to Saratoga Avenue. And she called me. She didn't want to call me. She didn't want to call me. Not at all. She was afraid. She was afraid of what was going to happen. And her fears were justified. She was justified in her fears. Because when I came to that house in South Carolina, because that's where they buried Sergeant Crystal Reagan and Sierra, Laquan, Rashid. That's where they buried them. In the veteran military graveyard right there in Florence, South Carolina. And I went there plenty of times. Plenty of times. A shout out to the chat. Now, Shakia is gone. Who do I have left in New York? But my sisters. My younger sister, she knows what's going on. She's afraid. She always was afraid. She saw how I flipped out when my father said he couldn't take me to the movies that day. I flipped out. I cursed. I screamed. I flew myself on the ground. I cried. I cried. And my sister watched me. She said, I don't want to tell Arabia no bad news. My older sister, oh, she got no problem telling me bad news. But when she called the younger sister, and the younger sister told her, you should never told Arabia that. Now Arabia is the mass weapon destruction. I am mass weapon destruction. I am the BT-1000. Shout out to the chat. The BT-1000 will never die. I was not born. I was created. I was fucking created. Just like all the women on YouTube was created by their own families. It wasn't their choice to be born in the homes they were born in. But shout out to you. You had parents. You had grandparents that took care of you. You had aunties. You had uncles. You had cousins. You had everyone for you. I was sent into the world way before I was 2 years old. I couldn't defend myself. But I'm defending myself right now. And don't nobody attack Arabia Barbosa. You better leave me the fuck alone before you attack me. Now, Sister T, I understand your situation, but when you attack me, when you come for me, when you do this and that, take off that goddamn wig. Show your true hair. And Sister T, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. I love your dark skin. I do. I love the way you look. I love the way you talk. But don't ever come from Arabia Barbosa. Don't you ever come for me. Nor you, no nobody in that goddamn sector. Now, you sector members over there with Sister T, I'm going to tell you right now, when you come for me, you better come. Because I'm getting cross state lines. And I will find you. Don't fuck with me. Not at all. I lost everything. Don't nobody fuck with Arabia Barbosa. You got the wrong bitch, the wrong day, the wrong time. I have nothing to lose. I can go back to prison or go into the fucking grave. I don't give a fuck. Because nobody really gives a fuck about me anyway. Now shout out to the chat. Very few people. I can count on my hand who actually cares about Arabia Barbosa. On my hand. That's my hand. 5 fingers, a palm. We got the thumb. We get the 4 fingers. Shout out to the chat. And when you close the hand, it turns into a fucking fist. That's what I'm talking about. The haters, fuck you. Fuck you. Get 2 scoops of fuck you up your ass. Don't nobody fuck with Arabia Barbosa. You better leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. If you can't deal with me, leave me the fuck alone. And you better cam out when you hit my fucking link. Now shout out to the chat. Who's in my fucking link? Corey. Hello, baby girl. Can you hear me? I'm getting ready to close out this video.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was just wanted to give you a little laugh to calm you down a little bit before you get all too fired and wired. But it's okay. I appreciate you. I just don't want you to be all mad. Everything's going to be all right. You're going to get your regular job back and you don't have to dig no ditches. Isn't there something else that they can help you do in the meantime?
No.
Oh, so you
No.
got to do some really hard labor until you get your regular job back.
That's right. Shout out to the chat.
But you'll be able to make it. You've been making it this long. So you can continue to do that for, a few more weeks or, a month or so. And they want you. They like you. It sounds like,
Yeah.
So it's going to be all right. Don't beat yourself up. We got other people to beat us up. You don't need to do that. You got enough people that want to beat you up. You don't need to beat yourself up. Come on now. Don't be helping these motherfuckers do that.
Hey,
You feel me?
I feel you.
But I just wanted to come up and just kind of lighten the mood a little bit. That's all.
Thank you, Corey, for coming.
Did you get all your frustrations out? Did you get it all out?
Yes, I'm getting ready to end this video. Thank you for
Okay,
coming
well,
in.
you're welcome. Take it easy now and have a good rest of your day, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Shout out to Corey. I met her years ago on this YouTube app. under Lonnie One Love, the Empress over there. And I love Lonnie. Whatever problem me and Lonnie had, and it's all over these YouTube streets. I got people reminding me they don't want it to die. But shout out to Corey A for hitting my link. Shout out to you. I'm always gonna love you. And thank you. Thank you for coming in. Or shout out to the chat. I know I got people looking at me, but you know, I'm not perfect. I'm not the supreme head God Almighty. I'm not. I'm a part of what they put out. I got a grandmother right now, my father's mother. She loved me very much, but she can hardly remember me. Sometimes when we talk on the phone, I support her every month, just like my father told me to do. You call your grandmother, call your grandmother. Don't be drunk. Don't be in a depressed mood. Talk to her so y'all can laugh and have fun. And my grandmother, she she got dementia. She don't remember me. She loved me. When she hear my voice, she said, Arabia, where my mommy? Your mother is with me. My great grandma Barbosa, she died in 1949. She was 52 years old. This woman been floating with me ever since the day I was born. I just recently started seeing her when I got in my 30s. When I got in my 30s. A shout out to the chat. But I'm going to end this video. And Corey is right. I need to enjoy my day and then take a breather. A shout out to you, Corey. Shout out to you. I'm ending this video because I don't said too much. I done did too much on the YouTube streets. Now, who is this? Kelly J, that's you? Okay, she's here. Can you hear me?
Hey Arabia, it's me.
Good morning. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter
I'm
to
sorry
you
for your
too.
loss. I'm sorry for
Thank
your loss.
you. Thank you, Arabia. Look, I came up, Arabia, I enjoy listening to you, your perspectives, and I think you are very brilliant. Like I listen to some of the things you say and I'm like, Arabia has an understanding of things beyond the surface level, right? Um, and I like when you talk about normal topics, not YouTube sector stuff. I don't, I listen to you talk about life, right? And so I'm listening to you and I hear the pain, you know? And I just wanted to come here and tell you that this is not this is just you said your mom or your grandmother used to say this too shall pass. The We have storms, right? And
Yeah,
then
we do.
on the other side of those storms, there has to come sunshine. The rain has to stop at some point. It's not going to go on forever. And what I want to tell you is to take a moment, breathe, and think about resources within your community, right? Have you thought about unemployment? Filing for that until your job is back up and running?
I can.
Like think about that. Go talk to them and see what your options are. It's not just the end of the road because something happened at your job. That may be just a moment hopefully they can hurry up and get it fixed and be back up and running. You know what I'm saying? So that everybody can get back to work. I don't want you feeling like you're alone. There's a whole community of people who are out there. Just see what you can do. I'm in the Carolinas, so I know if you're in South Carolina, it can't be that much different from North. So go talk to unemployment, see what they can do to help you, and go from there.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do.
I don't want you feeling like you're alone and it's the end because something happened at your job. It's just a moment. It's just a little spot, a little moment in time, and things will get better. You know?
Well, they better hurry up and get better. Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Why I feel like there's some muffling going on. Let me see what's going on.
I muted my mic so that it's not echoing.
No, let me check the other phone. Oh, this phone gotta come off. It's gotta go off. Power off. Okay, maybe that's what's doing it. But Kelly G, I appreciate you. I love you. You brown skinned lady and Lovelace, y'all are the social workers on YouTube, and a lot of people disrespect y'all all the time, and I see what they doing. But don't let nothing stop you. If you want to speak your mind, speak your mind. Do what you have to do, because they got a cancel culture going on. But Kelly G, come back up, unmute, unmute your mic, unmute your mic.
Okay, I got it. Look, so Arabia, as far as people being disrespectful, listen, I don't even watch them. I hear about things from other people, but people's issue with me is because I've loved people or love people that they don't like. They don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? People have spent months trying to figure out who I am, putting up pictures of all kinds of women, saying that I don't have a child or custody of children, like making up lies on me, which are far from who I am, saying I have criminal records, all kind of crazy stuff, Arabia. And I
No,
I
you're a
ignore it.
social worker. You're a social worker, just like brown skinned lady and Lovelace. A shout out to them. You're a social worker.
They have lied and never show any proof of it. So I ignore Arabia, to be honest with you. And I only follow the people who I enjoy listening to. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of delete and ask YouTube not to recommend certain channels so I don't see the negative stuff, because a lot of times people will try to dim your light because they're insecure or have nothing going on in their life. So I don't even pay it any attention. So, but I just wanted to come on and tell you that I'm gonna be praying for you that all works out, and I know that if you just stay strong, because you are a strong woman. I mean, I listen to your stories, and I'm like, Arabia has strength that she doesn't even realize, and that's a great ability to have, and I want you to just keep focused and don't give up.
I'm not giving up. I'm just frustrated. I'm
I
frustrated
know, I know.
because I'm
Trust
doing
and
something
believe.
right.
Right.
At least I tried. At my old age, I'm too old to be trying new things.
Mhm.
But at least I did. At least I did my part.
Right.
But I'm going to be me, the BT
Uh-huh.
1000. I
Stop.
am the true BT 1000. I am the
Arabia,
original.
what is VT 1000?
I'm gonna explain who the BT 1000 is. The BT 1000 was not born; she is created through her life
Mhm.
circumstances, and those women usually grow up and they are angry. They have children, they have grandchildren now, and
Mhm.
most of the BT 1000s, they know who they are.
Mhm.
They know who they are because they slide into my DMs all the time.
Mm.
But I'm not the spokes. I'm not the spokesperson for everyone. I can't
Mhm.
even speak up for the gay community. I can't even. I'm not a spokesperson for that. But
Mhm.
I am who I am. The German Shepherd is in the goddamn room. Shout out to the chat.
You just Arabia Barbosa.
That's what Corey just told me.
You can only speak. You're the spokesperson for yourself. You don't have to
Mhm.
put a community on your back. You're the spokesperson for Arabia Barbosa.
And I thank you for coming over
Mhm.
and supporting this channel.
No problem. I'm always listening, you know. I'm like, I listen to you when you're talking about, life topics. I enjoy hearing people's perspectives, you know.
So, what do you think about Wendy Williams? Let me ask you that.
Oh, wow. Honestly, um,
Yeah.
there is a small part of me, I'm gonna just keep it real. There's a small part of me that feels Wendy could be doing this to keep that man from getting her money. It's a small part of me that feels that way
You
because
feel that way?
sometimes Wendy can speak clearly and she says things and I'm like, Wendy ain't playing. Wendy know what she doing. But then I do feel like she was hurt. You're with the man for all these years and he has a baby on you and all of this stuff. I think that could have caused her a lot of hurt and pain and could have led to some health issues for sure. But then there's a part of me that's like, is she just laying low for a little bit until this money stuff, you know, kind of goes over?
Well, they got liens on her money.
Hmm.
I do believe that they stopped her money.
Right,
I do believe that. And
right.
when I saw her hug that other woman, and I was like, I was so into it. I was like, damn, Wendy remembered that woman? But Wendy was
Hmm.
looking like she didn't know the woman from a can of paint.
Yeah, you're right. But see, some of that too might be the alcohol as well, because they did say the alcohol is causing her to have some of those symptoms of dementia. So,
Yeah.
um, it just depends. I mean, I don't know. I just pray that all works out for her because I enjoyed Wendy. I used to listen to her, like snippets on YouTube of her from the radio because I wasn't in New York, but I could listen to people who reposted it, you know. So
Right. Right.
I like her perspectives on things as well. But I hope it works out for her. And I hope people aren't stealing her money, you know.
And they stealing it.
Yeah, yeah,
They stealing her money.
yeah.
But
Which is sad.
I do hope everything works out. Kelly G, can you explain to the people what kind of work you do so they will know why I respect you so much?
Well, okay, I'll tell you this. I don't do it anymore, Arabia, because it got to be too much. But I started out when I was younger, I first went into 911. I used to work as a 911 operator with the police department. And then I went
Okay.
into social services. I started out doing food stamp applications. And then I moved my way up to CPS, working with Child Protective Services. And I began with investigations. If we got a report of neglect, abuse, sexual abuse, any of those things, we went out and I was the investigator. I was the one that showed up on the scene or called before I went, just depending on the case. If it's an abuse case, you just go. You don't call. Um, and then I moved up to where I did like casework with CPS. So that's for the parents who were found guilty of doing something. And my job was to try to keep the family together. Um, so I would try to put the parent in counseling, therapy, drug treatment, whatever was needed, and try to help the children as well. And then I moved up to foster care. And that was removing children from homes where it was just unsafe for them to be there, you know? And I would have to write petitions, like draw up the court paperwork, take it to the judge, talk to the judge about it. And the judge would say, okay, we're going to sign off, and the state is going to take over um, the child and then find a good foster home. You try to find a good foster home. There were times where I had to stay at the agency with the children until we found someone who could take them in. Um, and so that's what I did for a long time. And then it became too much for me. You see a lot of stuff that you don't like, a lot of stuff that you take home with you every day. I started coming out of my pocket, buying stuff for children, which I don't mind. I'll do that for anybody, you know. And it was just a lot. I hated seeing people who just did not want to change. And so I had to back away. I think I left social work maybe 3 years ago, but I still like volunteer and help out if I can. But yeah.
Okay, I muted my mic so you can talk because I
Hmm.
don't want to interrupt your wisdom.
Right.
I
It's
don't want to
fine.
cut off your wisdom. But thank you for coming up. Thank you and Corey for coming up because
Hmm.
it takes a lot of strength to hit this link. It takes a lot
Arabia,
of strength.
Arabia, you are cool with me. I just heard you, and I know when I hear somebody feeling like they're in, I could hear pain in your voice or frustration, like you said. And who am I to just pass up the opportunity to give you something positive whenever you're going through something? That's what we're supposed to be here for, you know? Um, we all have the ability to be in the shoes that you're in, and we all need somebody to be like, hey, it's just a moment. You'll get through this. God has your back, and you'll be good.
Well, thank you for saying those kind words.
No
Thank
problem. No problem.
thank you and Corey for hitting my link and
No
and,
problem.
and speaking up.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a
No
lot of
problem.
it takes a lot of nerve to hit this link. A lot of nerve.
Arabia, you are hilarious. Like I said, I think you're very smart. I listen to you a lot, and I think that sometimes you limit yourself, and you don't have to. The world is big. There's so many people who our family doesn't always have to be blood. I'm gonna tell you that. I have a person that I call my mother, like a work mom is what I used to call her. And I talk to her about everything. I pray with her. She prays with me. And I call her family. And we're not blood related. It's just about finding those in life who mean well by you. And you just have to get out
Yeah.
there. Do something different. You said you're too old to learn new things. No, do
It,
something
your
different. Do
your
something
word.
different that you've never done before. I promise you.
Yeah.
You will meet some
This
awesome
is
people.
something different. This is something different. Because I used to
Right.
work for the tech companies all the time.
Right.
You got an echo.
Okay, I mean,
No, you don't have to mute. Just get rid of the echo. But, shout out to Kelly G. Shout out to Corey A for supporting this page. And you women, y'all been And I listen to Lonnie One Love all the time. Because when I first started on this YouTube in this sector, I found Tommy Sotomayor, Cynthia G. I found Lonnie One Love, the Empress Lonnie One. Shout out to Empress Lonnie One Love. Shout out to her. I don't know where she's at right now. She doing her own thing, but she always let me up on her panel, and she's always invited to come and hit the link. And she knows what I'm going through. Lonnie know me better than anybody on this app. Now shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Kelly G, unmute your mic, please.
Okay, I did. So
Unmute your mic.
listen, let me tell you what I'm about to do, Arabia. I'm about
Okay.
to finish straightening my hair a little bit because it was looking a mess, and I'm gonna run to Lowe's
You
and get.
very beautiful. You very beautiful.
Ah,
I
thank you so
seen
much. Thank you, Arabia.
it. You
I'm
are
gonna
pretty.
go. Let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I've been doing this since COVID. I mean, COVID was the best thing that happened to me. Let me tell you why.
What? What?
Let me tell you why, Arabia. I
Oh,
was home. I was home to myself, and I started saying, "What can I do?" I started learning to plant seeds and like try to garden, right? And I got so into it. I was growing tomatoes, cucumbers, all kind of stuff. And I never saw that in myself as someone who became like a plant person or a gardening person. I'm not the best at it at all, but I'm about to go to Lowe's, finish getting my seeds and all my stuff. And I'm actually going to make a YouTube video about it. Watch. And that's what I mean by doing something different. I find joy in that stuff now. That's why I said COVID was the best thing because I learned different things about myself. Sometimes you need to sit down. Sometimes you need to stop. Sometimes you need a moment to relax and figure other things out, you know?
yeah.
So,
But
yeah.
I'm very hurt. I'm very hurt. Um, about this because I was doing something very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Walking to the job because I live
Hmm.
very close to the job. The
Right.
job is gone, and
Did you think about this though, Arabia? Did you think about this? Let me give you another perspective, another way of looking at it. What if you would have been in there and that fire happened? You see what I'm saying?
because I usually show up early, early.
Right. You got to look at it different. Sometimes a moment, a pause, a stop, a rejection, whatever, is God's protection. Thank goodness you weren't there. Now they can fix it and then everybody can get back to work. So don't
Yeah,
look at the bad about it. Try to find the positive in it.
yeah. Because one of my homegirls, one of my moderators said, "Arabia, at least you wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
You wasn't there."
Absolutely. Look at them people working on that bridge in Baltimore. Think about that.
Mm.
Doing their job. And it was one guy, he said his shift got changed that day. And
Hmm.
he would have been on that bridge.
I feel you. I feel you. I feel you right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you got to think about the
It was
positive
not.
side.
It was not meant for me to be there
No. Mm-mm.
because I usually show up early,
Right.
maybe an hour early, 30 minutes early, and I
Mm-hmm.
was running late
Right.
that day.
Right.
And
That
my
probably
boss
would have not only
said,
traumatized you, but it would have hurt if you would have, if it, you would have got hurt. You know, think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just glad you weren't there and you didn't show up early.
Because usually that's what I do. If
Mm-hmm.
I got a job, I show up an hour before my shift, 30 minutes
Mm-hmm.
before the shift. Sometimes I might be a little bit late, but they all looked at me and like, yo, you wasn't here. It is what it is.
Right.
I shout out to the chat.
Yep. Shout out to the chat. I'm gonna get going, Arabia, but I wanted to just send you some positivity and love and tell you to have a great rest of your Sunday.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. Shout out to the chat.
A shout out to Kelly G. She was a social worker, just like Lovelace is a social worker. Lovelace, I appreciate you. I love you. Kelly G, I love you to the end of the world. Brown skinned lady, she's in the trenches. She worked social work. She does it. A shout out to the chat. But I want to ask Kelly G, what happens to the children when they go into the fucking foster care system? And we are faced with all this other bullshit. At 9 years old, I was touched. I was invited, invited, and my adopted mother at that time, she said, "Don't say nothing. Leave it alone. Leave it alone." She knew. She knew that dude was sexually abusing me. She left it alone. Left it alone. When he touched me at that age, you know what I started doing? I took my panties and started scrubbing out the panties, scrub out the blood, the semen, oil. Shout to the chat. I'm still living with that memory, even though the dude is dead right now. My sister told me, one of my sisters called me and said, the man that sexually abused you is dead. He's dead and gone. A shout out to the chat. But I'm going to always remember, remember the blood. I remember the hurt. I remember the pain. And he was in pain as well. He had his own mother. The mother was still living at that time. And my adoptive mother, she said, keep it quiet. Keep it quiet. I know what he doing to you. Keep it quiet. Because if you say anything, we're going to be investigated. We're going to be shut down. And you and your brother will be separated. You will be separate. You will never see your brother again. And I was always afraid of that. But my mother, my biological mother, did this. I have not spoken to her, but I saw her a few weeks ago. And I called Sister T. Sister T was the only one that picked up her phone. And she said, Arabia, maybe your mama want to get back in touch with you. But you, not Sister T, but my biological mother did this. She set the whole house on fire. Whole house. Why? You was left in the world. Why you leave me? She left me at a young age. I was not even 2 years old. I was 18 months old. Had to go into the world. Had to live with different people, strangers, but at one house. And I shout out to her. She's living in her grave right now. And the only one that comes in this house is my great grandma, Barbosa. Bertha. I shout out to her. She living in this house right now. And like Kelly G said, it was not meant for you to come there early. You was running a little bit late. You called your boss. The boss was trying to tell you, don't come. When I saw the police, I saw the fire department out there, I immediately became concerned. I'm like, well, people rob everybody every day, all day. But let me tell you something. When I spoke to my boss, it said it was electrical fire. Now shout out to the chat. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Kelly G, thank you for coming up. Corey A, thank you for coming up. Because y'all two women, it's two women that hit the link. Empress Lane One Love, she always hit my link, but she can't hit it today for whatever reason. It is what it is. But shout out to the chat. I remember a couple of years ago when I was not no money, nothing going on. And I said, oh shit, I gotta get some money in this fucking house. And I listened to Sister T one day. Sister T didn't even know I was listening. She didn't know. I went to the job. I got the job that day. I got the job that day. I shout out to the chat. It was a temporary staffing job. Shout out to the chat. Really, when I look at Empress Line One Love, she told me the same thing. Go out there and get them goddamn jobs. Get them goddamn jobs. She never dispelled me from doing anything. A shout out to her. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to the Ghost Watchers. Cause Kelly G, she came in. Lovelace could come in whenever she want. Brown Skin, all these women worked and are still working. Kelly G said she retired from doing social work. Okay. But you know the ins and outs of all that. Why? Why? That's what I'm saying. Why did they place me with the family I was with? Why? Nobody has an answer. But I'm gonna do the answer. Shout out to the chat, shout out to the chat, shout out to my YouTube creators, shout out to my subscribers, shout out to my support team, shout out to my moderators. It is what it is. Shout out to Kelly G for speaking her truth. Shout out to Corey for coming up here. Because they know what's getting ready to happen. They know. Arabia Barbosa getting ready to disappear. I'm not going to do no more videos after today. That's it. I'm gone. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to be on YouTube like this, but I got to speak my goddamn truth. I got to tell my goddamn story. And Queen Regina always supported me telling my story. And I didn't know what Queen Regina was doing at that time. She said, Arabia, don't be afraid. Tell your story. Tell your story. And stand 10 toes down on my 10 toes. My 10 toes. It's talons. It's claws. When I like someone, I dig into them. I'm like a crow. I'm like a raven. I'm like uh the bull, the eagle. I'm like that. When I like someone, I attach myself to them. I'm the Jeeper Creeper on this shit. I'm the Jeeper Creeper on this shit. When I hear something I like or see a woman display them, men, same thing too. I dig deep. When I land on your shoulder and my talons is landing on you, I dig deep. I dig deep. And like Kelly G said, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Lonnie told me this this will pass. This will pass. It will pass. But at the same time, I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling hurt. And I appreciate everyone coming on into this video, onto my channel. Tell your truth. Don't stop telling your truth. Live your life. Do what you need to do. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I don't have a whole lot of people in my chat. I don't need to have. I don't need to hold 20 people. I don't need to hold 100 people. I don't need 100 people. I just need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Look at my hand. Once again, 5. Look at the palm. You take that 5, you close it, you close it, close it, close it, close it, close it, close it, close it. It becomes a fist. That's what it becomes. The fist. It is what it is. 914 What's County, York. I'm out of here. Y'all have an awesome weekend. My weekend is not going to be awesome. Not at all. I got to fight against a woman that I've been knowing for years and years. And she trying to come and destroy my whole thing. Not my platform, but she's trying to destroy my whole house. Shout out to the chat. I got in touch with one of my moderators, and she said, Arabia, protect yourself. Protect yourself. You are wonderful. You're awesome. You are amazing. You're opulent. I'm opulent. But for how long? How long? Because Arabia Barbosa is getting ready to disappear. Okay. Facts or feelings. He's in jail right now. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know what I'm getting ready to do. You don't. And I'm not going to tell nobody. But shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to my moderators, my subscribers, my YouTube creators. Shout out to you. But Sister T did speak some real words the other day. And she said, I'm done with you. I'm done. You know why Sister T is done with me? Because she can't deal with the bullshit. She can't deal with the hurt. She can't deal with the pain. Sister T she's an empath. Just like Lonnie One Love is an empath. We got different women on this app. Very wonderful, very beautiful. And they will always be beautiful to me. With the wig or without the wig. You're beautiful. A shout out to the chat. I'm reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time. But I gotta reclaim my time on me. Not on none of the women on YouTube. I'm reclaiming my time on me. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Corey for coming up. Shout out to Kelly G. It is what it is. I'm out of here. Y'all have an awesome day.